This morning, Hopoo revealed that the anniversary update is releasing this Thursday, March 25th, and will include the Bandit as the new survivor. Alongside this, they also released DevThoughts 20, which has some other new information about the update. Let's take a look at what we got. So first off is the promo art image. His Bandit has the release date, and I gotta say, Bandit looks cool. He looks different than he used to. His gun is big and powerful looking. Looks like it's energy powered. He also has a regular revolver on his hip instead of like the flare gun he has if you booted him up in game right now. And I hope it has some cool like sound effects to go with this, because that gun sounds like it should be really loud. Anyways, moving on. We also have this screenshot of Bandit on the moon. In the screenshot we can see that Bandit does hold his gun up to his face like he does in the promo art, like that's how he moves around and shoots it. And more important than Bandit though is the moon. It's different. As far as I know, this is at the one spot in the moon level where like it goes down a little bit and then you have to like cross a gap. But instead of the two islands on either side and then the boss arena behind him, the islands look different. They've like moved, and instead of the boss arena there's this huge pillar behind him. And if you look really closely, on the left there you can see what looks to be like a tree on a rock. So it looks like they're changing up the moon in the final level, which I can't wait to explore. It's also my personal belief that you unlock the Bandit by messing around on the moon with all the new stuff. But who knows, maybe it's something else. And the most important image of all of these though is the stats page image. Before we talk about all the information that's given, first of all, I like how close this looks to the Risk of Rain 1 image. It's got the completion percent up there at the top in big letters, so that way you know when you're done. Mine would probably be like 94, 95 when the update comes out, because currently I have every monster log, every achievement done. I think I've definitely beaten the game at least once on every survivor. They also have the pie chart, which I really liked from the first game. It'll be great to see that again. But moving on, in the bottom left you can see completion, and it has challenges completed, collectibles, items, survivors played. And this is where the meat of all the new information comes from. So starting with the challenges completed. Right now there's only 103, so there's 9 new ones. And if you aren't aware, challenges include everything from unlocking a new character, to unlocking a new item, to the skins you get for beating on Monsoon. So out of the 9 new challenges, I think there's 7 of them we already know, from what we know and what we've been told previously about the update. There's the Bandit unlock, that's 1. The Bandit skin for beating on Monsoon, that's 2. And then 5 slots are taken up by the skill variants that they mentioned in the roadmap. So that's 7. So there's 2 missing challenges, and these are both probably just alt skills for the Bandit, because you know every survivor's gotta have a couple. Moving on, it says there's 35 collectibles, and I'm not exactly sure what collectibles are, but there are currently 33 monster logs and 17 environment logs. Given it's 35 and not like 50, it's probably only the monster logs, which means we have 2 new monsters. One of those is almost guaranteed to be the grandparent boss, but the other one, I have no idea. It could be a mimic monster. It could be that one wisp enemy that got cut, the ancient wisp. It's like got these purple flames. It looks kind of cool. Maybe it could be that. Maybe they added something else completely different. Who knows? We'll find out on Thursday. Items and equipment discovered, 126 total. Now, I counted, there's 121 right now. 126 actually if you count the elite equipments that have a super rare drop chance, but those aren't in the logbook, so I don't think they count. So in the case that there are 5 new items, that's Honestly, that's not that many. That's like what? One for every tier? A white, a green, a red, an equipment, and a lunar. But given that in 1.0 they didn't even add any white, greens, or reds because they didn't want to change the item pool, we got something similar probably happening here. We know one of the items is a boss item for the grandparent. That's in the game files along with the grandparent. It's kind of like the Beetle Guard right now, where just it summons a parent to follow you around. Maybe they'll change it. I hope they do, because having a parent doesn't sound that useful. I've mentioned a couple times before that they could add 3 new developer items for the new devs they hired. That would be cool, and that might actually take up some white, green, and red spots, which would be nice. And as far as other things go, we could get the Ancient Scepter. It's a fan favorite. A lot of people ask about that one. I'm not actually sure if they'll add it because there's a mod for it and they're trying not to like step over mods. They mentioned in the dev thoughts that they're keeping the old Bandit in the game files so that way people who were like modding Bandit don't have to change anything for it. So maybe they're not adding the Ancient Scepter because there's a mod for it, but like I want that in the game. I want everyone to talk about it for it to be part of the meta and like, oh, you get one, you're really cool. It's not like a mod where you can mess around with it. But anyways, the one other thing I see talked about a lot is items for the Heresy set. These items are lunar items. They replace your skills with new ones. There's one for primary and one for utility. So they could add 2 more to make a full set of Heresy items. Now something I thought would be cool is if you got all 4 items and had a full lunar set, you'd like your character would change to like some lunar being or abomination or monster. Who knows? That would probably be a lot of work, maybe hard to implement, but it would be nice to see. And of course, Survivors played and Survivor wins 11. There's currently 10, so there's only one new one. It's Bandit. Rip anyone when it's Chef. Maybe in the DLC. Anyways, now that we've got that out of the way, I'd like to talk to you about my bingo game. So, here's my bingo card. It is for stuff to see in the update. After the update comes out, I'll fill it out and talk about it more. But let's look at what we got here. Starting from the top, we have Bandit skin is more than a recolor. So, Monsoon skins are kind of hit and miss. Some of them are like model changes that look kind of cool, like Commando's alt skin. He looks all serious and stuff, he's all stealthy. And then you have like Rex's alt skin, which just changes his colors and it's not really that interesting. So I hope the Bandit one is cool. They give him a different hat or something. That'd be fun. Next up, a bit for fun, Radiant Pearl. Make it easier to get because the drop rate is so low and people complain about that all the time. It'd be nice to just make that an item people can actually get. Next we have checking the logbook in lobby. They mentioned they added something like 90 new lore entries to the logbook. And I'd like to read all of those while I'm waiting in a multiplayer lobby for my friends connect. Because sometimes I'm waiting there for like 10 minutes or something for one guy who's like, oh, I'll be right back, let me grab some water, and then he doesn't show up for a while. So if I could just read all that without having to leave the multiplayer lobby, that'd be great. I'd also like to see some kind of reward for beating Eclipse 8, because right now there's nothing that you get from beating it. No like badge or proof, because every other Eclipse level you can prove you beat it because you unlock the next one and it keeps track of that. But there's nothing to check if you ever beat Eclipse 8. And I'd like to see that. Maybe just like a badge next to my name. So like when you pick the character you beat Eclipse on, it has like a little star next to it, a little gold star. Good job, you did it. Next up is a nerf to multi-rebar. Now, the skill itself doesn't need to be nerfed. It does a decent amount of damage, has a long cooldown time. However, there's a strat where if you equip it on both slots and you hold down the read to button, it basically becomes a rebar machine gun that fires at like I would say about the same rate as like the Huntress, the triple fire, where it's just like tap, 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 and it's the most powerful loadout on multi right now, which kind of sucks because the other ones are fun to use, and also when you use the retool, attack speed items and stuff like that are useless on multi. Next up, a buff to Frost Relic. I think it's the weakest red right now. It gives AoE damage to anything nearby. However, the Tesla Coil does that but better. Like the Frost Relic, it doesn't even have like a slow debuff it applies. The radius is kind of small. And I've seen people accidentally blow themselves up because they'll like walk past a pot and detonate the pot. Maybe if it like gave you armor while it was active, or just something more. Anyways, Ancient Scepter, again, I want to see that. It's on that bingo card, so I can cross it off when it happens, or fail to get a bingo when it doesn't happen. Put on here a new secret area. Now, I don't mean like an entirely new hidden realm. I'm thinking something closer to the 2 buttons you have to press on the aqueduct that open up the room where you fight the lizards. Something on that level where it's just like another area that has an achievement behind it. I want to see one of those. Next up we have another new boss. That'll be the second monster. Of course, it would be nice if they were both bosses, because while those are the hardest enemies, I think, to code, they are fun. You remember them. They had some boss with a couple new moves and really cool mechanics. I'd really like to fight that as opposed to another enemy. Even though I'd see a regular enemy more. Anyways. Commando phase round buff. So it's kind of a running joke at this point that Commando's bad. Currently the only way for Commando to proc bans is to use a grenade, which is an unlockable skill that's pretty hard to unlock. In fact, Commando's good alternate skills are hard to unlock, and it is just ridiculous, because you'll have to play with the horrible phase rounds for a while until you get anything good. And they should change that. Commando's the first one everyone gets. It's their first impression. They should make him a little bit more powerful. Next up is dev items. I already talked about this. I put it on here because I want to see it. Then also, the full Heresy set. I'd like to see it. I guess this bingo card is cursed because we can't get dev items and a full Heresy set. That wouldn't fit. Maybe it would. If it was like 2 and 2, it might fit. Of course, we got Bandit in the free space because he's confirmed. Now, a challenge people complain is too hard. So, one of the hardest challenges in the game right now is like Mercenary Eviscerate, I think is what it's called. You have to beat Prismatic Trials without falling below 100% health, which basically means don't take any damage. It's possible. It's really hard and almost no one has it. Like, if I go to Steam pages, it is the lowest achieved thing. Only 7% of people have gotten that one. And I see people bring it up all the time on Discord, just be like, why is this achievement in the game? Why do they do this? So yeah, if there's another new one like that and people will just complain about it, I think that'll happen. Also, increase the chance of the tonic debuff getting activated, because right now it's like 1 in 4, which is already a bit, but if they made it even higher, I think it would balance out, because that equipment is still pretty good. Maybe if they made it give you the tonic debuff, even if it doesn't go off cooldown, but I'm not sure how they would code that. I know like when Mithrix steals it away, it gives you a couple debuffs no matter what, which is kind of funny. Equipment fuel cell cooldown, if I can explain this, when you have a fuel cell and it's charging up your second charge, you don't know how long that charge is. So if it had like one charge but then also the like 12 seconds until your next one is done, that would be really helpful. Next thing is a mod, but it is very helpful, and I wish it was in the real game, is detailed item descriptions. Like when you pick up a soldier syringe right now, it says increased attack speed. However, with this mod on, and if you check the logbook, it says 15% increased attack speed, parentheses 15% per stack. And if you like moused over it, it would tell you like 15% per stack, because you have 5 stacks. Right now you have a 60% increased attack speed. If it would give you the totals like that, that'd be really helpful. Next up is a useless nerf. Just for some reason, Hoppu's like, ATG missiles, they need to be nerfed. They're too overpowered, and everyone's like, wait, no? You don't need to do that. You've made this item useless by nerfing it. I think at least one of those will happen, so it's on the bingo card. Engineer walking turret buff. Currently, the walking turrets are okay. They don't have bungus, which is 90% of what makes turrets cool. So if they just made the turrets faster so they can keep up with you while you're sprinting, or maybe they just stuck closer to you in general, it'd be really nice. They'd be useful. People would pick them. And next we have one of the new skills is trash. A lot of the alt skills in game are either a straight upgrade or a straight downgrade. Like Acrid has Blight, which is stacking 60% damage, and you're like, oh cool, it stacks, but in reality it sucks. Use Poison. Poison is better every time. Next up is Grandparent. This is almost a free space, but since Grandparent technically hasn't been confirmed or anything, I'm putting it on here. I want a free. I don't want an empty bingo card. Now for DLC teaser, I'm talking about like one of the new secret areas or something in game hints at to what the next the DLC is going to be about. Like you find like somewhere like a ruined pickaxe, and it's like, oh, the miner's going to be in that DLC or something like that, where it teases us and we get excited for the DLC. I'd also like to see a reward for being Prismatic Trials, because it's been there since day one. It says like currently the top 10% of Prismatic Trials get nothing. They should change it. Make it lunar coins or anything, please. Maybe put in unlockable. Make Bandit unlock by being top 10%, so it'll fill out my other thing of complaining about a challenge that's too hard. Coming up on the end here is a polyp buff, because those squid turrets, they suck. They're just bad. I'm sorry, they're bad. Please fix. And lastly, we have New Moon. How new is the moon? Something's new about the moon. Maybe it was just a weird screenshot. But I will call it a new moon if there is at least one new interactable object on the moon. If that is the case, then I will check off New Moon. If they just changed the layout a bit, but didn't actually add anything new, then I'd say that's a new moon. It has to be a new interactable of some kind. Whether it's like a Shrine of Order sitting right in front of it, or they change the jump pads into stairs or something. That'll count. But if it's just like, oh, they move stuff around, the level is slightly shorter, then that wouldn't count. That wouldn't count. So that's everything I got. I hope you found this informative and entertaining. I will put up another video after the update goes live, talking about my bingo card and the patch notes. Thanks for watching.